Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. It has got the warehouse operations management, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can we go ahead and get started? Or shall we wait a few more minutes, Ruba? 5 more minutes. So I've got this Lampui. So I checked my Turnitin of the assignment. It is
Sure,
70%
sure.
only of the book name, reference, and citation highlighted. What do you mean by that? Maybe we can, after class we can just have a look at it. Okay.
Sorry, ma'am. And I can repeat again, is it?
No, I said there's a question on the chat. I just told Lam Puyi, the student, that we can refer to it after class. Not a problem.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
I think today will be the last class, Anne.
Yes. Yes.
Today is the last class, so I hope that all the students will have whatever question that they have, they will highlight today. Today is the last class.
Okay. Okay. So the other part is Ruba, um, in terms of are you scheduling any face-to-face meet with the students?
I will love to, but just that the interstate still closed, so
Okay, got it.
so none of the students can travel and come to the campus.
Understand. Okay, not a problem. Just wanted to be clear so that I can block off time on my calendar, right?
It's so correct, but I really like for them I really like them to travel and come for the class in IEG campus. It's be more efficient, but
Yeah.
unfortunately the borders are still closed, so that's why I just can't.
It's okay. All right. I think we can go ahead and get started. So we'll try to cover 2 topics today, and then we'll try to also spend time on some of the questions that you may have for your assignments. Okay. Uh, today we're gonna go through warehouse operations management. I think all of y'all are very familiar uh, in terms of warehouses, especially in Malaysia, right? Wherever we go, we see these large buildings, storing uh, uh, with large storage capabilities, right? And then you also see some companies adopt a strategy like IKEA. They store and they sell at the same place, right? And then you also see some promotions like Jualan Gudang, warehouse sales, right? So it's a very common term that we are aware in this country, warehouses, right? But just like any other business operations, just like any other uh, uh, way of doing things, warehouse also have got operations, what we call as best practices. How do you manage them to the best? What are the challenges you will face in a warehouse, right? So you have to remember that warehouse not only is not only uh, storing things. There are many other aspects towards a warehouse. How can it impact your company, right? Profitably, right? So it's very important that you'll understand some of the concepts are quite basic. Some of the concepts probably has been existing for a very long time, developed from other areas of business operations like manufacturing and so on, right? So without further ado, let's go on to the next one. The session outline. Yeah, session outline says warehouse and supply chain management, the importance of warehousing for operations project and supply chain management. Encourage you to think about how materials handling fits into the big picture. Yeah, and talk about some order picking and convey key principles and concepts. Right. So, guys, it's it's sorry about that. So back to it. Um, where did I stop? Okay, talk about some order picking, convey key principles and concepts. Right. Any questions so far? Right. Now let's move on. Huh? Okay. What is a warehouse? You all can see the picture at the back, right? At the back of the three gentlemen who are standing. Look at the size. Look at the volume. Look at the way it is arranged, coordinated. So they say, what are the reasons for storage? What is a warehouse? Why is a warehouse important for the operations project or supply chain management? So you see, warehouse plays a very critical role in terms of the uh, supply chain management. Okay, as we move on next, you'll understand why. Okay, here you go. See, warehouse, a large building where raw materials or manufactured goods may be stored. A large wholesale or retail store. If it's a large wholesale or retail store, the best example is IKEA, right? A large wholesale. IKEA is a large retail store. Yeah, don't get confused. Why retail? Because they sell to the general public. Yeah, and wholesale, they may sell to distributors who buy in large. You all get the difference, huh? So if it's a retail business, meaning you can sell one piece, one piece, one piece. If it's a wholesale business, you may sell by the cartons, boxes in large volume. Yeah, so that's very important for you to understand how does it work. Can a large wholesale sell to retail to as individual pieces? Sometimes yes, they do, but in most cases they focus on distributing. Yeah, the large wholesale business is focused on distributing. Right, a warehouse is just basically a building or a physical place where you use it to store things, whether it's raw materials or whether it's manufactured goods or packed goods, whatever. Yeah. A warehouse can be used to keep anything that you desire. Yeah. It could be rice packets, it could be groceries, it could be milk powder, it could be anything that you think that you need to keep. You can keep it in a warehouse. It's not only meant for boxes. It's not only meant for what you call that, electrical items, right? It's meant for anything and everything that you need to store. Always remember that. Okay. And then warehouse, store goods in a warehouse. Why do you do that? One, reduce transport costs, coordinate supply and demand, assist in the production process, assist in the marketing process. Right. Now, can you all think of some ways on how they can reduce transport costs? Any idea? Anyone can put it on the chat if you want to. Okay, so it's like this. When you talk about transport costs, you see, one of the uh, common costs that you cannot run away would be transportation costs. So transportation costs here refers to what? You have to remember, transportation cost is not only fuel, yeah, or petrol. Yeah. Transportation cost also refers to what? Uh, Maintenance of the vehicles. Yeah. Right. Maintenance of the vehicles means what? Repair, wear and tear. Just like your car needs new tires every now and then. Your car needs black oil change. Your car needs aircon service. Your car needs alignment done, right? So everything that you need, it's a cost, right? And that is tied back to your transport, your own car. Imagine a company that has got many different types of vehicle they use to send things here and there. What do you, they also need to do it, right? So if it's a large scale company, they would need to spend a lot of money in maintaining all their vehicles. So having a warehouse whereby it's central, can be easily distributed, right? Can is accessible to a lot of people to pick up their goods, would reduce your transport costs. Yeah, remember that. Right? And then supply and demand. Right? How do you say supply and demand? So you always must remember. Okay. Um, in current scenario, right? In current scenario, people always want to save money, right? Why they want to save money? Because times when you save money means more profit for your company, right? So one way of saving money is to reduce waste. Okay? When you reduce waste, that means you're saving money. How do you reduce waste? You reduce waste by not overproducing or producing the wrong thing or uh, stop or wait to get things done. So when you save time, you save money. When you save, when you don't overproduce, you save waste. Yeah, when you don't produce things that are uh, uh, faulty, you save money, right? So how does that help? Warehouse can help you to manage the supply and demand, meaning that uh, I need 100. So how many do I have in my warehouse now? Okay, I have 30, so I need to produce 70. So things like this is very important. Yeah, in a large operation. Yeah. Again, see, to assist in the production process, to assist in the marketing process. Right. As we go on later, you'll understand the significance of warehousing as we explore further and further. Yep. Any questions so far? Anything? Okay. Okay. Control inventory, time planning, scheduling, automate logistics, all good answers. Excellent. Thank you. Right. So moving on next. Okay. Reduce transport costs, as you say. Consolidation of goods into transport efficient unit loads, distribution centers, hub and spoke operations. The hub and spoke distribution paradigm model or network is a system of connections arranged like a chariot wheel in which all traffic moves along spokes connected to the hub at the center. Right? This is actually your wheel. Yeah, wheel. Yeah, and they say the hub is normally the warehouse. The spokes are all the distribution channels that are connected to the hub, right? And then on the left-hand side, they say consolidation of goods into transport efficient unit loads. Yeah, uh, of course. See, the main idea of having a warehouse is to ensure that you are able to, your company is able to produce in large volume, bulk, yeah, and store them until the time is needed to ship them out or to distribute them. Right. Now, guys, this is where you have to understand why do you have to produce in volume? You need to produce in volume because, you know, of cost factors related, right? As we spoke in many classes ago, it's all about economics. Are you all familiar with this term? Economics of scale, whereby the more you produce, the cheaper it can get. Yeah, the more you produce, the cheaper it can get. Yeah, so they call it economics of scale, right? So that's why companies would want to produce the most volume for the lowest of cost. Yeah, and in order to do that, the warehouse plays an important factor. So in this case, it's gonna have, okay, uh, uh, if its distribution center is centralized, it's easy for you to send it everywhere that you want to. Yeah, meaning that an example would be the cost of sending uh, things or goods from Penang to JB to KL uh, to Kelantan to Terengganu to Sabah Sarawak will differ, right? Will differ because every time you want to send something to Johor, you have to go travel from Penang all the way to Johor. Yeah, so it's gonna take a challenge. But if you have what they call as a hub, can you see the hub on the right hand side, the wheel, the hub? Assuming that you have a warehouse there, so from Penang, you can send in bulk in huge quantities to a centralized location whereby it makes it easier than to be distributed to many other areas from a centralized hub. So from centrally, you can go down south, Melaka, Negeri Sembilan, Johor covered, East Coast, Pahang, Kelantan, Terengganu, you can send, easily, and also centrally can cover Selangor, Perak if needed to, right? So think about it. From Penang, if you want to send that quantities, let's say Johor, you need 100 quantities. In Melaka, you need 100 quantities. Penang to Johor to Malacca, 100 quantities does not make sense. But one single transportation that sends about 5,000 quantity to a centralized location, then from there it's easy for you to distribute 100 to all these smaller orders, smaller in the volume that they need at individual locations. So that's the meaning of reduced transport costs. You all follow, yeah? Okay. And then in terms of the second one, as we go back here, they say, okay, to coordinate supply and demand, reduce waste. As you all can see, stockpiling of seasonal products, fruits, vegetables, toys, cold drinks, offset commodity price fluctuations, right? So it's very important that the supply meets demand at the time that is supposed to be. So remember, guys, it's not only about you producing, you also have to make sure that the supply meets the demand. Simple things like now we are in fasting month, Ramadan. The next 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road, we will be celebrating Hari Raya. Yeah. So currently, what is in demand for this season? Yeah, what is in demand for this season? So it's a seasonal month for Hari Raya, right? It's a celebratory month, right? What's in demand? So people want to buy things to make cookies. They want to buy butter, flour, right? They want to buy new clothes. They want to buy anything and everything that has got to do with the Hari Raya celebration, right? So the example would be the demand for flour may go up higher in this month. The demand for sugar and butter, eggs will go up higher in this month because people generally want to spend more in order to make cookies. So that's what they mean by stockpiling. Stockpiling means you ensure that there is enough supply to meet the demand for this month. Y'all follow me here, right? There's no point you produce, but you're not able to sell this month because your product is not been able to be sent to meet the demand. Right? For instance, sugar. You produce enough sugar, but you're not able to deliver to the respective locations because of timing. So what do? You plan ahead. You plan ahead in the sense that you plan 2-3 months ahead to produce sugar to meet the demands of this month, and then you make sure that sugar is stored somewhere centrally for easy distribution. That's the idea, right? They say coordinate supply and demand, right? They say toys for Christmas, cold drinks, offset commodity pricing fluctuation. So many things people try to do this month. People try to uh, uh, increase price for all the basic items. But you remember some of the products, the government control the price, right? So you cannot just simply increase the price. Yeah, some of the things like on the rice packet, on the sugar packets, you can see harga yang ditetapkan, right? So, or recommended price or price fixed in that sense. Okay, you all understand, right? Supply and demand. How warehouse is gonna play an important role to ensure that the supply is kept to meet the demands at that particular time. Now, the other things like aging and maturing, right? Sometimes warehouse is kept to assist in the process of getting the product ready, right? And they say here cheese, wine, and whiskey. Okay. Now it's very important. Some products will need time to age, would need time to be ready, right? Um, it's the nature of the product. Okay. For instance, here they called out as cheese. Okay. In most Western countries, when they produce cheese in bulk, cheese goes through an aging process. That means cheese must be kept somewhere for it to age naturally. Yeah, like, and then only it's processed, right? Uh, or packaged to be sold. So a warehouse sometimes will be one of the main will play a main part in the process, in the pre-production process from before the end of the packaging stage, whereby they keep it in the warehouse for maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on the cheese requirement. Like for wine and whiskey, it is it is common knowledge that the longer you keep the wine and the whiskey, the more expensive it becomes. Yeah. So again, where do you keep? You need to produce not one bottle, not 1 liter. You need to produce in thousands of gallons in order for you to be profitable. Where do you keep all this liquid? Yeah. So warehouses would have these large drums of where you can store this or barrels, have they call it, where you keep the wine and whiskey. Okay. And then they say the last one, minor handling. Minor handling is probably um, okay. One thing that I can think of is a large uh, producer of fruits, right? Let's say it's a large fruit farm. They produce apples and pears and whatever not, right? They've got a very large farm, right? So what they will sometimes do is they don't want to do the packaging because it takes a lot of their time, and they don't want to invest in a large facility to manage the packaging. So what they do is when they pick all the apples, they'll send it to a warehouse which can provide the services of this, right? Some of the services, meaning that they can clean the apple, they can package it and label it on your behalf. Let's say Ruba's apple orchard, right? So Ruba have to give them some money extra in order for them to clean, package, label the apples so that Ruba can focus on just growing his apples and fruits. He does not have to worry about packaging. Yeah. So sometimes they can help you in that sense. Are you all clear so far? Right? How important is a warehouse? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Right. Then the last one they say is assist in the marketing process. Right. Proximity to customer, ensure availability when required. Examples, retailers often rely on local distribution centers to ensure their stocks can be replenished on time. Exporters often set up distribution centers as market entry strategy. Right. Again, it boils down back to the supply and demand. Right. Here, what they say is in order for you to ensure that your customers' requirement, your customers' request for the product is met, having a warehouse centrally located will enable you to do that. Yeah, so simple. Yeah. Uh, when you have your warehouses in strategic locations, the chances of you not missing an order is always high. Yeah. Uh, that in that case, if you notice, a lot of the factories uh, have got their production and warehouses centrally located. Yeah, I think, have you all heard of this company, CSR? So CSR Sugar is in Shalam. Yeah, central. Yeah, centrally mean north is Penang, Perlis, Kedah. South, Melaka, Johor, Negeri Sembilan. Central, KL, Selangor. Maybe to an extent, some parts of Perak. Yeah. So when you're in Shah Alam, a sugar factory, that means you're centrally located. Yeah. Easy for you. What else I can think of? I can think of many other companies that have got their factories here. Like I think Alinia is in Shah Alam too. You all know this company, the bread company. I think that's one here. I think they also have got one factory in Penang. Not sure. And then what else? I think Pepsi. Okay, Pepsi is in Pepsi the drink. I think their manufacturing plant is in Bangi. Yeah. FNN. FNN, very famous brands for a lot of things. They are in Shalam too. So a lot of factories are located centrally because, right, ensure availability when required. So their factories are in Shah Alam. Their warehouses are also located close by, right? So it makes it easy for them to do any kind of distribution. Yeah. Okay. Now we move on to types of warehouses. So warehouse also got many different types, right? So types of warehouses. First one, they say bulk storage, liquid, oil, fuel, fruit, vegetables. Make sense? Yeah. Do I need? I don't think you all need explanation of that. And then cold storage warehouses, perishable goods, food, fruit, vegetables, meat, dairy, certain type of drugs, medicine, chilled and frozen goods. So could be many things. Cold storage is meant to keep things cool. Just like your fridge. Imagine your fridge, but it's only maybe 1,000 times bigger than your fridge. Yeah, a cold storage warehouse. They've got chillers. They've got room temperature lots. They've got chill frozen places. They've got many different types of rooms where you can keep things meant to be like that. If it's supposed to be frozen, it's frozen. It's supposed to be chilled, it's chilled, right? So even your fridge, yeah, your fridge, you got uh, two areas, right, in your fridge. One is the chill, right? Or the second one is the second compartment is what? Sorry, not or. What's the difference? So the maybe in my house, the bottom part of the fridge is to keep things chill, water, fruits, chocolates, vegetables, cheese, some of things that I put in my freezer. Then the my in my fridge. The top half is I want to keep frozen things frozen. What are things I want to keep things frozen? I want to keep my fish, my chicken, my ice creams frozen. Yeah. So remember that it 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 needs to have capabilities that are able to meet these particular types of goods. Perishables means a vegetable, if you don't keep it chill, it can go bad very fast. Okay. And okay. And then there's commodity warehouses. You keep things like lumber. Lumber is what kayu, right? Logs, all the trees that you cut to make wood, right? And then cotton, coffee, and grain, yeah, commodities, right? Household goods, temporary storage, international removers, right? Anything and everything that's already packaged, everything and everything that's already been kept to be delivered. Okay, it could be a box. I mean, it could be what you call that, uh, a chair, could be electrical equipment. Yeah, it's all has been packed. Yeah. um, and then general merchandise warehouses, anything and anything that you can keep in order for you to distribute. Yeah, so two different things, right? Number one is temporary storage. That means you keep that before you send it out to uh, let's say a port. You need to send that to a port. You need to send that to a you want to send it to a ship. You want to load it to a ship. You want to load it to a plane. Yeah. Whereas general merchandise warehouse, it's kept for anything and everything, whereby you can actually rent these warehouses to store your things. Yeah. So there are many types. Let's it all depends on the nature of your business in terms of what do you want to use it for. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Okay, thanks. Moving on. Uh, Again, privately operated, public. I think this one is a very self-explanatory. Yeah. Um, Public warehouses, anyone and everyone are able to rent a warehouse and keep their things. Privately operated is dedicated to a particular product, a particular company, right? And where they only keep the things that you uh, want to keep, yeah, or your company produces. So uh, this is interesting. Let me see if I can play this or not. Dalit. See if I can. Let me know if you guys are able to. Okay. You all able to hear the sound of this? Are you all able to see the video?
Yes, but can't hear anything yet.
Can't hear anything. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Setting. Just give me a second. So I'm not sure why this is. I'm not able to share the sound, guys. Just watch it, and then it's just a 2 minutes clip. Okay. So if you noticed, they had so many different functions, right? Um, they needed to first pack in bulk and then send it to a place where they need to then rearrange, reorganize, repack the goods so that they are able to deliver to their customers the orders that they want, right? So, assuming one large box had size 8, 9, and 10 shoes, but they need to break it down into a specific request, like for instance, 5 different companies or different areas they need to deliver. So they need to understand which area requires which uh, uh, formula of sizes, right? Okay, I need size 7, 1,000 pieces. I need size 8, 3,000 pieces. I need size 9, 500 pieces of pairs of shoes, right? So these are things that you saw just now. Yeah, um, you're able to ship effectively. You're not making any changes to the products themselves, right? And in all essence, what you're trying to do is this. Can you see um, what what Nike did? Can you see they are the manufacturer, the first one top here, and then are you also able to see the screen? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I'm referring to this. Imagine this is Nike. Yeah. And they have their warehouse. Things that they can send on their own, they'll send it, or not, they will ship it to a consolidation warehouse, whereby they can do the extra work of labeling, packaging, sorting, and distributing to their smaller customers or to their customers, or even to a local warehouse. So, guys, always remember where you are, right? You always look at the bigger picture based on where you are. If you are in Johor, just don't think about Johor Bahru as the main place. Imagine in Johor itself, there are so many other areas, Segamat, Batu Pahat. Batu Pahat is Johor. I can't recall. Okay, so many other areas that needs to be addressed. Similarly, if you are in Selangor, if you are staying in PJ, PJ is not the only area available in Selangor. So there are so many other areas that you need to start distributing things. Rawang, what do you call that? Bangi, Shah Alam, Selayang, Batu Cave. So many other areas, Subang, right? So many other areas that you need to think of. Now you expand that thought. Imagine a global product like Nike. A global product like Nike, the amount of distribution that they have to do to get their product to the customer. That is the challenge. Yeah. How about Apple iPhone? Where is it made? And how does it end up in your hands now? That's another challenge, right? So many things that are made somewhere else in the world, not in Malaysia, somewhere else in the world, but at the end of the day, you get to hold it. So this is how the warehouse and supply chain management is able to do that for you. Yeah. Okay. Now moving on next. Say uh, operational activities in a warehouse, things that happens in a warehouse, right? So in most cases, do not get confused. Warehouse is not the production or facility to produce. They may use it to repackage, but most times warehouse primary objective is to do material handling. Material handling, receiving goods, storing goods, order picking, loading, and dispatching goods. That's it, right? They don't do anything else except anything and everything had to do with storing and distribution. Yeah. So remember that, guys. Why is it important? Because they need to focus on delivering the goods. There's no point if you make something that is very good product. End of the day, the product is not been able to reach the buyer's hand, right? So that's why they're very important. So they do material handling, receiving goods, storing goods, order picking, loading. So we will explore more on this. Yeah. Okay. They say typical warehouse functions and flows. Yeah. So what is it? Um, Receiving, inspection, repackaging, put away, storage, order picking, sorting, packing, cross-docking, replenishment. Okay. Now, if you were to remember watching the Nike video, you realize that the warehouse received, they inspect quality, they repackaged it, right? And then they put away for storage, and then there would be an order. For instance, in Johor retail shops need 1,000 pairs. So they pick that order, they sort, again they repack, they ship, and then the replenishment is taking it back, receiving it back. Yeah. So uh, the function and flows, yeah, I meant to ensure that you are meeting every single request specifics of a typical business operation. When they say receiving, right? Okay. Just to explain this further, you go here. Receiving, yeah. Okay. Receiving, yeah. Now, this receiving, think of it the case that the warehouse is next to the factory. Next to the factory, meaning that they've already have got their own private warehouse, whereby they've got a small team to manage orders for overseas. So that's why they call it cross docking. And then they immediately can send that to shipping. And then there are other areas whereby see direct put away to reserve. Direct put away to reserve means they produce a certain number of uh, units for reserve purposes, right? Not for orders right now. And then direct put away to primary here, meaning that case picking, broken case picking here, it refers to you going to fulfill an order, right? And then over here is they say account sortation and packing and utilization. Over here means that at one point of time you would then manage it to meet a particular customer order in order to meet their request, right? So the customer would have a certain orders, the account would have a certain requirement that you produce for them. It's done here and then shipping. So there are a couple of things that happens. Yeah, it's not only direct warehouse to a retailer or for shipping. They also do a lot of other things in between in order to ensure that the warehouse plays a very important role in the supply and chain. Okay. Then moving on next. What are the warehouse operations objective and missions? Okay. Okay. Customer service. I think this is self-explanatory. Yeah. Cost control. 3, the areas and opportunities to improve warehouse operations. Right. Any questions on any of these, guys? Can you all please raise? I'm gonna quickly move because we've got one more topic to close today, and I'm still halfway through this, and I just need to another half an hour to close this off. Any questions on this for now? On this particular slide that I'm sharing?
No, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? All these are positive. All these are positive. Yeah. What are the objectives? The objectives are here to what? To ensure that you are able to run a efficient business. Yeah. Mission, right? Improving order picking, cross-docking, transfer incoming shipments directly to outgoing trailers without storing them in between. Right? Right. Economies of scale, right? So that's cross-docking. That means you go back to this, if you talk about this, okay, as I called out earlier, can you see cross-docking here? So this is the warehouse. Immediately you send it for shipping. The entire thing is the warehouse. So when you receive from the manufacturer or the factory here, you immediately repack, work on it in order to be shipped. That's what they meant by this cross-docking. Okay, transfer incoming shipments directly to outgoing trailers without storing them in between. Okay, why is because to realize consolidate whatever that you have, you know, and then ensure that you don't waste time in keeping them again. Take it out. Yeah. And then warehouse maximizes the effective use of space, equipment, and labor. Increase value added services, traditionally picking and shipping to meet customer requirements, such as also service pre-sorting, pre-labeling goods for cross-docking customization of the outbound product. So, as I said, sometimes the manufacturer or the company that's actually producing the product may not want to do all this. Yeah. So a warehouse can supplement that services by pre-sorting, pre-labeling goods. So why this is important? Why this is important is because certain countries would have certain regulations, certain policies in terms of goods are which imported into the country, right? Australia has got a very strict policy on importing goods, especially food items. They're very strict. Why? It's because Australia being a large island, yeah, one of the biggest continent, right, in terms of an individual country. So they are afraid that you might accidentally transport something that is not native to the country, probably a type of insect that can demolish their crops and goods. So they are very, very particular in terms of how you import, how you bring in a product into their country, right? So the pre-sorting, pre-labeling of goods, right, are very important if you want to send something to Australia, right? So things like that, how a warehouse can help you to manage processes like that. Right, guys, I'm going to stop here for a while. I'm going to take a 5 minutes break, and then we can continue after this. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. right, can we get started? On next, yeah. Utilizing space when is more space needed. Space utilization related to productivity, damages and mistakes, right? And let me just share. Sorry, I forgot about sharing. Got disconnected. Okay. Okay. So still are the slides visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. So I'm not gonna see whether this is just give me a second. Okay, never mind. You guys watch the YouTube video when you have the time. Okay, just gonna move on next. Right. Any idea what does JIT means? You all come
Just
across
in
this
time.
just in time. So what does that mean? Just in time?
The order is made when there is a request.
Okay, that's very technical answer. Anyone else? So that's what mentioned. Just in time means you don't wait, right? You don't spend time, you don't make it in advance. Sorry about that. I think I just got disconnected. Can you all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So as mentioned, you don't make it in advance. You don't waste time waiting. You don't overproduce. You don't underproduce. You just meet uh, the requirement where and when it is needed to be met. Yeah. So just moving along that. Let me just we can explore that further in the coming topics. Yeah. And then it says improving warehouse productivity. Okay. Right. Cost, service impacts, alternative processes, layout design, batch picking or small orders, right? Do you all know why boxes are always in square? Any idea? Even if the product is round, they will manufacture a round box.
Because it's easy to stack and arrange.
Easy to stack and arrange. Very good. What else? There's one word that I'm looking for. Okay, it's called, the word is space. With a box, you are able to save space. With a round product, you're not able to utilize or maximize the space with a round packaging. Yeah. So if you were to remember, if you were to think that why boxes are they're always square boxes, because they're able to utilize whatever space that's needed in a box. If you have a round cup, try filling it with things, because of the curve you will not be able to utilize the space. So that's one thing, right? Again, moving on here, say improving warehouse productivity, uh, alternative process, cube utilization, equipment related programs, use of new technology, optical scanners, automatic labeling, automated materials handling, systems related programs, router location, right, zone picking, training and motivation, incentive, awards recognition, and so on, right? So over here, if you were to just see the warehouse as an integral part of your business operations, warehouse also needs their productivity to be improved. How and why is because they are key, right? If your warehouse is, if if you have a manufacturing plant that is state of the art, that means a top class manufacturing plant which is able to produce uh, finished goods uh, at super fast speed, your warehouse also should be able to manage that, right? That's what they are saying, okay, in terms of warehouse productivity. Yeah. We go next over here. Okay, let me just see if this is how long is this video. Okay, just watch this for a few minutes and then we can go back to the slides.
Sir, you're on mute.
Sorry. When you all watched the video, you all realized that the guy was trying to explain. Although you all did not hear the comments, you would have heard that the guy would have tried to explain that the warehouse is huge, big, right? So how does an order gets transformed into a piece of information? That information is taught along all these related programs that you all can see, optical scanners, labeling devices, automated materials. So that is what he was trying to explain, meaning that the use of technology in order to sort things quickly and ensure that it gets recorded, processed, and delivered. Yeah. And also the last part you see, he says that about you saw a few people talking on the phone. He was referring to that their employees are well trained to manage customer requests, complaints, and whatever not. Right. So that was the entire video was all about. Yeah. You saw this huge warehouse. How do they manage it? Yeah. So moving on to this, okay, they say order picking principles. It's Pareto's law. Okay. Uh, have you all come across this term, Pareto? Okay. So it's putting things which are common, which are have the same, uh, which are almost the same or the same products, things together, so that it will make it easier for you to uh, process it, right? That's key. Okay. Uh, in any kind of a situation, any kind of environment, right? Be it manufacturing or be it at home. Yeah, I give you a very simple example how a Pareto's law will work for you. Yeah. Now, what are the most common things that you carry with you every day? Your wallet, your watch, your handbag, your house keys, your car keys. So 5 items, right? 5 different items. But have you noticed that most times all these 5 items are kept together in a common location where you know that, hey, I need my house key, I know where to find. I need my car key, I know where to find. I need my handphone, I know where to find. So normally it will be a console table in the hall, probably next to the door, or in a way whereby you have to pass by the console table in order to exit your door. Have you guys seen noticed that in yourself, right? That's what they mean by parent. When you put all things together, so not only in terms of that, also in terms of, if I were to give you another example, in large organization, yeah, you're talking about organizations which have got millions and millions of customers, like for instance Amazon or Dell or Google or whoever, that they have got millions and millions of customers to buy from them. So imagine that millions and millions of complaints or feedback that they get. How do they manage everything? They can't manage everything, right? So they'll use Pareto's law. They'll find out, okay, what has got the biggest complaint? What issue has got the biggest feedback? Or which product has got the most issues in order for me to go and resolve? So they will try to resolve one of the issue in order to resolve maybe 20-30% of their overall complaints, right? So that's one way of them using Pareto's law. So imagine that, yeah, it's common sense. Okay, if you want to save time, you put the popular things together, then you don't have to look all around. Yeah, but in supermarket they don't do that. Supermarket, they put all the things separate items, so that you spend more time in the supermarket walking around and buy things which you don't need because you happen to pass by that. You see, they put the rice on one corner right at the back, right? And then they put the eggs and all on another side, and then they put the bread on entirely another side of the supermarket, right? So you have to go through all these aisles before you come and get rice, correct? So we can't do that in an organization, in especially in warehouse. You have to use your um, information systems to understand what are the most popular things and then try to put them together. That is what it meant by Pareto. Yeah. So clear and easy to read picking document. Simple things, numbered, are very easy to understand to use. Yeah. Um, sorted according to stock location to minimize travel time. Yeah. Pre-routed and pre-posted picking document. So guys, it's very important. You know your destinations. You know your location where you need to send these goods. If you have pre-sorted and pre posted, what do you call that, printouts or layouts for your product, it makes it easier, right? Stock location systems. Again, as I say, uh, you know, right now, the next technology in all this would be augmented technology, right? Where you are able to walk around a warehouse and immediately understand which where the products are located and so on, right? Eliminate combined order picking tasks, traveling, extracting, reaching, documenting, sorting, packaging. So in other words, what they're saying is, when it comes to order picking is you have an order in hand and now you need to go into your warehouse and find the product, right? So what are things that can cause delays? Traveling. Warehouse is huge. If it's a 25,000 square foot warehouse, you want to spend less time possible in walking around to find the product. You want to uh, uh, minimize the time, the less time possible in extracting, meaning taking the product out. What do you mean taking the product is, you notice the warehouse, they have got shelves that are like 4 or 5 stories tall. How do you want to take something that is located right at the top? You need a forklift, you need all kinds of things, right? So that's what they mean by extracting, reaching, documenting, sorting, packaging, and packing. Yeah. So in short, how they would want to use is, the order comes in, you immediately know where to go and look for the product and how to ship it out. So that's order picking principle. Next, okay, batch orders to reduce total travel time, separate forward reserve picking areas, and most popular items will be the most easily accessible location in the warehouse. Guys, uh, these are all, is what you call that, common sense. Yeah. Assuming you're at home, yeah, you need to go out. You want to ensure that you get everything done first before you go out. You don't want to go out and then come back in, take something, go out, come back in, take something, go out. So that's what they mean by these two, yeah. Right. Easy, popular items, easily accessible. Yeah, common sense. These things are very popular. You put it right in front because you know that's where it's going. Or separate and forward reserve picking areas. For all the items that are so common, so popular that they need to be attended every day, every five hours, you need to send this out. You have a reserved area lah for it. You don't have to go look for it again and again and again. You know, all things that come in, these popular items go into this unit here. This unit, I can straight send it out. I don't have to sort, travel, and batch orders. Yeah. Wait until you have 10 orders and then you go and collect the thing. Don't tell me after one order you go and collect the thing every time. Yeah. So that's what they mean by batch orders and popular items. Very straightforward, simple. Yeah. You don't need to have a new way of doing things. Yeah. They distribute balance picking activity across picking location to reduce congestion. Distribute picking activities over large areas enough to avoid congestion, yet consider travel times. Right. So if you put everything that is popular in one place, it's just gonna create heavy traffic. Yeah. So what you do is you manage it in a way that you can distribute it in such ways that it does not get into one another. Right? It does not get into one another. It does not clash between. Then items likely to be requested together assigned to the same or nearby occasions. To reduce travel time, identify correlations from order profiles. Right? Or capitalize on storing related items the same name nearby location. Items in the package, items from the same suppliers. Right? Again, your warehouse data intelligence should be able to give you some form of information on how and where you can keep things together. Yeah, that's what they're mentioning. Accountability of order picker for order accuracy. Right. Long-term quality requires the order picker is held accountable. Okay. So the person who's doing the actual processing of the order, right, must be well equipped. Give him or her the right training, the right equipment, the right skill set in order for them to do the work properly. Yeah. So they should be responsible for the accuracy. That's what they mean here. Okay. So the entire scenario, if you were to imagine, think about it, imagine a huge warehouse like what you saw in the video, and you saw also notice a lady walking around with a trolley trying to pick things up. Yeah. So that's what happens. Yeah. You get an order in, now you need to go and sort that out. And you need to have all the relevant information in order to process that particular order for the order picker to fulfill it, right? So do you want them to be walking around the entire day? No. Do you want them to be struggling with identifying which particular product, which package it is? No. Right. So you must introduce all this technology. You must introduce training. You must introduce this some of the systems in place like Pareto's law in order for you to have an efficient warehouse or order picking mechanism. And then okay, avoid counting, measure instead of counting. Check digits, ensure picking accountability, give management control over accuracy, and design picking vehicles to minimize sorting and errors. Right? Measure, guys. Okay, what is measurement? Can anyone tell me? I'm talking about this. Yeah, I'll give you an example. What's the difference between measuring and counting? What do you measure? Anyone? What do you measure? So, Ahmad, are you stitching uh, new baju Melayu for your Hari Raya this year?
Yes, most probably.
Okay, then what do you measure?
The size.
Exactly. So how do you measure your sizes? How do they measure? In what units? In
I think
inches
CM.
or centimeters, right? If you stitch a pants, they measure the pants in centimeters or inches, right? You measure your weight, you measure your height, right? You measure things that are relevant to you, right? So similarly, in a warehouse, when they say that measure instead of counting, is the fact is, okay, measures to a certain quantity, correct, right? When they measure is this, okay, count is very specific. If I have, if I say I can put 30 boxes in my warehouse, that does not reflect on the measurement. You understand? When I say I can put 30 boxes, 30 is counting. Okay, 30 is counting, 30 boxes is counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can put 30 boxes in my warehouse. That does not make sense to me. But if I were to say, in my space right now, I've got 5,000 square feet of empty space. Understand? So then I'll be able to translate that 5,000 square of empty space into how many boxes I can keep. Understand? So that's why they say measure instead of counting. Okay. Sometimes the best example I can give you is the best example I can give you is this. Can anyone tell me this? I put it there. I'm only giving you the example of this. Yeah. Have you all come across this when you see a lorry pass by? Have you come across this? BDM, BTM? Okay. What's berat dengan muatan, Ahmad? And what's berat tanpa muatan?
So berat tanpa muatan means the weight of the lorry without any items on it or any things on it,
Okay.
and berat dengan muatan means what is the weight of the lorry with the things on the lorry.
Okay. So very good. Thank you for explaining that. So that is what this is all about. Okay. That is what this is all about. Measure instead of counting. Why? Is because I don't have to stipulate the number of things that I'm having, right? I know with my space and with your measurement, right? I know how many things I can keep, right? So for those people, berat dengan muatan does not mean that, okay, if I'm transporting, let's say, watermelons, yeah, I've got a small lorry and transporting watermelon, right? Do I have to specify the number of watermelons I'm carrying? No. But my lorry says that I can transport 1,000 kilo weight. I just have to meet that requirement. Number of watermelons does not matter. You all follow? You all
Yes, sir.
understand? Yeah. Okay. So that's what they say, avoid counting. It's easier that way in managing large spaces. You don't have to be specific in terms of the number of boxes, because you can easily measure your space, and then based on the space, the 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 uh, the build of the box, you can calculate already how many boxes you can keep. Yeah. Okay. That's the advantage of having this particular um, principle in place. Okay. And then check digits, management control over accuracy. Yeah. So give them the right kind of information. Yeah. Give them the information that they can cross check. And then design picking vehicle to minimize sorting time errors. Yeah. Design of the picking vehicle critical, like you say, equipment equipped with dividers, ladders if necessary, clipboard, right? Meaning you have to give people the right kind of tools to work with. Okay. And then sometimes you can see in large warehouses, when people have this sort of a customized trolley to push around, yeah, to pick things. They have got all the devices attached to the trolley already. They don't have to hold separate one and push the trolley in one hand. They have to push the trolley. They can focus on just going to that location in order to pick their things based on the customized trolleys. That there would be a panel where they are able to see where it is and so on. Right. Paperwork, papers can sometimes can be messy. Use technology. Yeah. Okay. Things to think about. What have you learned about a warehouse? How do you think warehousing is significant for today's business environment? Yeah. Okay. This is the end. Yeah. They say okay, any questions on this? Right. So the only question that I have for you guys is, how do you think warehousing is significant for today's business environment? Okay. How? I know very significant, but how? The question is how. So is this? What are these two things? Okay, excellent. Thanks, Ahmad. See, um, now retail stores, traditional retail stores, have seen a decline in walk-ins and subsequently a decline in sales. Why? Many things, like for instance, last year was due to, and this year also COVID. Yeah, people did not go out to eat. People did not go out to buy things. People did not go out to try on new clothes. People did not go out to buy shoes. Yeah. So the lifestyle has seen a sort of a shift in the way people do things, right? So now what people do, even my nieces today, they buy things online frequently. The other day, one bought a pair of shoes. The other day, one bought a pair of dresses, right? So it's like there's a shift in how things are being done. So it's more pertinent that, or very significant, that warehouses have suddenly become not only as a support unit, but also an integral unit whereby it connects people to the brand. Yeah. So for that, I think it's going to be very significant in years to come. Okay. Now, any questions so far on this? Anything else, guys? Okay. Gonna stop here. Then finally, we will go to the following the last topic for the day, I think, last chapter. Lean manufacturing. Okay, a second. This is a very complex one, but I hope we can spend time and learn through this. Yeah, just let me share it now, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay. Let me know once you're able to see. Are you able to see it? Okay, thanks. All right. Last chapter for the day, lean. Okay. An approach to excellence. The term lean was coined by Womack in The Machine That Changed the World. Previously, the general approach was just-in-time manufacturing. The philosophies and techniques are based upon the Toyota production system. Yeah. Okay, what do you need to do? Understand the background, understand some of the techniques, and then the pros and cons of lean. Yeah. Okay. Origins. Okay. Two of the gentlemen, right? Lean manufacturing is sometimes called the Toyota Production Systems. These two gentlemen were responsible for JIT, right? Ono-san and Shingo-san. Yeah, both of them. I think the uh, uh, leaders of Toyota, right? And they came up with this concept. Why? Why do you think they had to come up with this? Right? They say that say they could not afford the expensive mass production facilities of the type used in the USA. So they instead focus on reducing waste and low cost automation. Right. So guys, remember here, yeah, the concept of it. You can apply it in your work, in your current situation, right? You need to think of probably unique ways of making things easy for you. Yeah, not necessarily you have to have state of the art technology to make things easy for you, right? You can use simple tools to get things done, right? Like even arranging your equipments in the order of it being used can save time. Yeah, even rearranging your office slots to ensure that there's a process flow in getting things done, how a file is transferred from one department to another department, how the workflow is managed, is really good. Yeah, so you have this, and then they came out with a lean manufacturing, right? Say it's a philosophy, a way of thinking. What is the thinking that they want to introduce? Think of simplicity instead of complexity. Yeah. We want to be so complex in our approach, where else a simple process would be sufficient. And they say continuous improvement, emphasize on minimizing inventory, focuses on eliminating waste. There is anything that adds cost without adding value. Pragmatic choice of techniques used involve everyone, right? But I like these two. Yeah. So an example of this here. This is what I learned, a story told to me by my lecturer many years ago. And I want you all to participate. Yeah. I want you all to participate. If you all can listen to this story, listen, and then I want you all to participate. Give me an example or an answer to the problem, a solution to this problem. Think of this. Think of this particular statement, meaning that replacing complexity with simplicity, and then you let me know. So there's this factory in Japan that during the winter in the factory, everybody does not complain about anything. They can just do their work in terms of manufacturing an electrical item. They all manufacture, they all do radios. This was many years ago. They all fix radios, in the factory. But during the summer, the factory gets hot because the factory was built for winter, but during the summer, it became very, very, very hot. So everybody started sweating. Sweating in the sense that, sometimes you sweat, but it's not so much of a sweat, but you need time to wipe your sweat off. Your hands become wet, right? And because of that, because the nature of what they do, they manufacture radios, right? When their hands become sweaty, they cannot work on the radios efficiently. So production dropped. And the boss was thinking, hey, what can I do in order to uh, just ensure that the production does not drop, the efficient productivity does not decline? What can I do? Because people are sweating. What would be your um, solution for it if you were the operations manager? Anybody? In winter, it's okay. In summer, it becomes when it becomes hot, people start sweating and people cannot work efficiently. What do you do? Anyone? Good try, Ahmad, but too expensive. No budget. And the summer is only for 2-3 months. After that, it's okay. So I install aircon. I'm only gonna use it for 2-3 months. After that, I don't need aircon. Is it worth the investment? Yes, not worth. So think of this. Okay, I also thought of aircons. You're not the first one giving the answer. I also gave the same answer, right? What do you all think? What do you all think the management would have done? Wear short. Oh, okay, good idea. Something to do with clothing, but not short clothing, but something to do with something that you wear, something that is wearable. Okay, so okay, very good. So what the management of the factory decided to do was give everybody headbands and wristbands. You know what are headbands? Have you seen people when they are jogging, when they are running, when they are playing sport, they wear a headband? The headband is to absorb the sweat that comes from your forehead, the round thing that you can put on your head. That's the headband. And have you all seen wristbands? Wristband is to a lot of badminton players wear wristband, so the sweat from their arm does not flow to their hands, to their finger. Have you all seen that? So that's what the management gave, and that improved the productivity for the company. So again, Japanese, they have got very simple solutions, right, to a lot of um, issues or improvements that they can make. Okay. Okay, so they say this is the basic image of the TPS, right? They say goal, highest quality, lowest cost, shortest lead time. Okay, just in time, Judoka, right? Take time, continuous flow, pull system, right? And then standardized work, Kaizen. Kaizen is currently a very popular term. Yeah, and then they say Jidoka, stop and notify for abnormalities, separate human and machine work. Right? What they're trying to say here is ensure that everybody has a role to play. Right? Do not let somebody to be idle, whether the machine idle or the person idle. Right? If things do not work out the way it's supposed to be, call up, ensure, notify. Yeah. Moving on next. Okay, waste or muda. Very important. Overproduction is a waste. Waiting is a waste. Transportation, they will term it as a waste. Okay, inappropriate processing, unnecessary inventory, unnecessary motion, defects. Right now, I think this is sorry about that. So this is self-explanatory. Why you want to produce and wait? Yeah. Why you want to produce more than it's supposed to be? That means something is not efficient. Either your supply and demand process, your order processing, there's a gap between production and order processing, right? So that's one thing. Waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting here means that you're waiting for somebody to do something for you before you can do the next thing, right? Or waiting for the customer to confirm the order, or waiting for a part to arrive, or waiting for a product to be tested. So that's wasting. Yeah. And then transportation. The moment a thing is moving from one place to one place, that means it's not doing anything. Right? So you minimize transportation. Inappropriate processing. Right? Why does it need to go through 4 different people in order to get things done? Why can't 2 people do the same for the 4 people? Right? And then inventory. Overproduction can lead to unnecessary inventory. Right? Unnecessary motion. Unnecessary motion here is what? Um, Imagine in a factory where a technician is assembling a laptop or an equipment or even a mobile phone. So that person is actually assembling it for you, right? If that person has to reach out to 4 or 5 different areas of his work area in order to get things done, that's unnecessary motion. Yeah. Guys, the most common example that you guys are doing it every day is if you notice someone who's cooking, yeah, everything that he needs to do in the cooking process is close by to him. You can see that he stand next to the wok, his spatula, his salt, sugar, pepper, whatever is just next to him. The raw ingredients are next to him. Everything is just in one motion. He cooks. If you fry a rice, if you go to the food court, if you ask the guy to fry uh, you order a fried rice, the entire process is very seamless because he does not have to walk and get something for him. Everything is close by. That is what they make my unnecessary motion. Yeah, it's very important. You may think, oh, what is this? But try doing it every day. Every time you want something, you walk. Every time you want something, you walk. That makes you tired. Yeah, same thing. And then defects. Yeah, defects means what? You can't sell. It's a waste. Simple as that. Simple as that. So again, I always come back to things that are very relevant to us. All of us are adults, right? All of us are adults. What we do most today, right, would reflect on our productivity. So the most simplest of defects is you do something, you spend 2 hours working on a report, then you realize that the entire report is wasted. It's not accurate. That's a defect, right? So you have already spent 2 hours, right, working on something that is not right. So that's what they are saying. Yeah. Physical waste. Anything that you do is not right, faulty, no use already. Except it can be used as an opportunity to improve. Yeah. Now look at this. Overproduction is the most serious waste because it discourages the smooth flow of material and inhibits productivity and quality. So this guy is producing and this guy is finding it. So X produces more than Y can handle. Overproduction, right? Efficiency requires supply to be matched with demand. Current state, 10 operators. They can produce 120 pieces. Customer wants only 100 pieces. True efficiency, 8 operators output 100 pieces. So you save time by reducing 2 operators. Yeah. So remember that when supply matches demand in the specific demand time, then only efficiency is efficiency achieved. You all follow this? Yeah. How to start eliminating waste? See stops, delays, or accumulating by focusing on the flow of the product. See non-value creating motion by focusing on the movement of people and machine. Right. So when you talk about waste here, okay, time and money. Over here they say when you overproduce, you can't sell. That's over inventory, right? When somebody has to move around to get things done rather than having it in a seamless process, that's wasting effort. Yeah. So look at where there are delays or accumulation. Delays is for one product to get to another station, the other person at the station is waiting. Or you realize that at one particular station, a product gets accumulated. That means it does not go through immediately to the next one, but it gets piled up. Yeah. And again, here, people, movement of machines. Yeah. Work motion diagram. Okay. Here, what they're trying to say is the actual work that's being done. This is the incidental work, non-value creating work. Value creating work, waste. Okay. So in all effort, when you're doing something, you realize that at some point of time, you would be doing something that is not related to the work that you are contemplating. Examples are given. We can go next. Okay. As we go through this, you'll understand. What are the lean goals? It's zero waste, zero inventory, zero defects, zero disturbance, setup time, lead time, routine execution of schedule, day in, day out. Impossible, guys. Right? It's impossible. But these are the goals, right? These are the goals, right? Maybe this is possible. This I have no idea. You know, in my close to 25 years of work experience, I have not seen a perfect working condition whereby everything works according to plan. I think you guys are aware of that too. But that does not mean this cannot be our goal, right? Because only when you have a goal like this, you'll improve yourself further and further and further. Yeah. So let's look at that. Zero breakdowns. Have ever your computer not broken down on you? Have you ever not been late to something? Have you ever not come across a product that's not working because of a defect? Have you ever not come across a situation whereby you bought more than you can use, right? And then accidents and paper. So all this would be the goal for lean manufacturing. Yeah. So give me a couple of minutes, guys. I'm just going to go and have a quick drink of water, and I'll be back. Yeah. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'll be right back in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. So lean manufacturing and the zero goal target. on next. Four fundamental area: product, process, human resource, organization. We'll see. Okay. Product. Guys, remember we did product design. Yeah. In I think it was lesson 9 or 8. Yeah. What they mean: design for manufacturing, assembly, automation, flat product structure, cellular manufacturing, achievable appropriate quality, standard parts, modular design. Process design, lot size reduction, include search, cellular manufacturing, concentrate on low throughput times quality. So just give me a second. Let's go back to this here. Gonna refresh your memory. Just it's not here. Okay. Now, for you guys to understand this better, I would ask you all to go to week 8, I 40. Yeah. And then similarly, this one, process design, again, refer to week 8. Also week 8 in slide product design. Let me just see what is. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry, it will be in week 9. Week 9, you can go to slide 5. Slide 5, yeah, page 5. Yeah, if you all want to have understanding better, right? Just going back to slides here. Any questions so far, guys? Anything that you want to ask? Anything that's anything that you want to ask? design for manufacturing? Okay. Nothing very technical about all these terms. Easy to manufacture. But easy to what do you all think? What's the difference between manufacturing and what's the difference between assemble? Can someone tell me? What's the difference between manufacture and assemble? Come on, guys. Okay. Manufacturing is actually when you make a part. Assembling is actually when you use the part to make a product. Okay. Let me tell you an example. Your handphone has got so many components that each component has to be manufactured in a way. Like for instance, your component, the most common component in your phone would be the battery, right? And the battery would have to be manufactured somewhere else. But the company that's producing the phone would assemble the phone using your battery. You understand? So that's the difference between assemble and manufacturing. Right? Again, similarly, automation. Yeah. Have a product that easy to um, manufacture, to automate. How? How? So design to automate. Any examples? Okay. All right. Let's moving on. Moving on next. It's getting a bit dry. Yeah. Okay. Car parts. Understand. Good. Process design. Again, similarly. Yeah. Uh, set up lot size reduction. Okay. What they mean. Having a space whereby when you implement the process, yeah, you don't have to cover a large area. Include search capacity to deal with variations, product mix and demand, right? You should be able to manage different demands in terms of the type of product, a type of output that you need to do. Yeah, cellular manufacturing is looking at different hubs, or what we call as stations, for you to go through a process, right? Concentrate on low throughput times, right? Meaning that there are times whereby the production would have a challenge, yeah. And then quality is a part of process automations, machines with built-in capacity to check parts. So in terms of your process, you should have quality built in to check on things like, for instance, a sensor board that would ensure that all the products that you have produced, all the parts that you have produced are working. You know, sometimes you take a product, you put it on a particular platform, the lights would indicate what is working, what is not working. Yeah. And then continuous quality improvement, of course, you know, understand what are your challenges, and then no stock rooms, meaning that everything goes to the line or to an area to be produced, to be processed. Nothing gets accumulated. Flexible equipments, yeah, equipments that can be used for multi-purpose use, not only one standard use. And then you have operations that are SOPs. People know what needs to be done. Yeah, so these are the some of the process design that you have to think when it comes to lean. Yeah, and then human resource, guys. Human resource is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, you yourself as a person know that if you don't get the right training, the right exposure, the right equipment, it will be very difficult for you to do your job. Yeah, you must also understand that even if I hire you for the right with when you have the right training, right experience, I must continuously ensure that there's learning and development in your area to keep up with all the different challenges that takes place in this current environment. Technology is so rapid that people have to continuously improve themselves, right? That is human resource. And then over here is organization. Organization itself, right, needs to understand what is direct labor, indirect labor, activity-based cost accounting, right? So remember, guys, when you talk about an organizational element, okay, what requires uh, uh, a budget to do, what requires a resource to do. You must be able to, your organization must be able to understand that what they can automate, what they cannot automate, right? Not everything can be automated, and not everything automated works 100%, right? And also in terms of activity based cost. Yeah. So what is activity based cost? Let me give you an example. Yeah. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. Okay. Activity based cost. It identify activities. Remember when we did work breakdown structure. Do you all remember this? At each particular work that you do, there was a cost attached. That is what they mean by this. Yeah. How much is it going to cost for me to do this? How much is it going to cost for me to do this? and subsequently. Yeah. So that's the definition for activity based cost. Yeah. And then moving on, techniques, production, intercompany lean, organization for change. Again, yeah. Let me tell you that lean technique is lean itself is a mindset, right? So what do you need to do? How do you want to be efficient? How you want to manage your resources, right? So there'll be different techniques that'll be in place, right? Um, how one order get translated into work, yeah. You learn through that later. Yeah. Operation techniques, today's focus, say lean techniques. You see, Gemba Kanri is a Japanese term for workplace management, cellular manufacturing, setup time reduction, overall equipment effectiveness. Andon, Jidoka, these are Japanese terms. We'll go through that shortly. Smallest machine concept, proofing. That means no errors, no defects. Yeah. Workplace management. Yeah. Workplace management. What is workplace management? Right. System by which standards for running the day-to-day business are established. If you're having trouble, that is workplace management, SOP. Right. Everything needs to be managed. Everything would need to follow a standard. And that means you have identified the best policy or process in order for everybody to be at the same mindset. Okay, if you think about Gemba country workplace management, think about SOPs, systems by which standards for running day-to-day business are established. Okay, next one, aims. What does the SOP uh, aims to do? All of us, yeah, if you look at this, right, to increase efficiency on the shop floor, maximum efficiency, eliminate waste, align performance. Standardize operations, measure performance, use knowledge. So guys, it goes back to what we has been doing in the last couple of hours ago. Reduce waste. Ensure that everything is utilized to its 100%. Right? Meaning, what do you call that? Means that we are an efficient company. We don't overproduce. There's no waiting time. We are able to align with what order management needs and so on, right? So that's a standard SOP, right? And then they say align performance to company objective. Of course, all the companies in the world, the objective is to be sustainable in terms of profit. So they want to be profitable. They also want to be sustainable in the sense that the profit that I'm producing things so that I can be profitable for years to come. So SOP would help you to govern that. Okay. Implementation, positive and activity support, communication, weakness system, clear plans, stage improvements, learn from others and mistakes. Again, it's nothing like a very complicated thing, right? Very straightforward in terms of your SOP needs to be aligned with what you all do on a day-to-day. Your SOP needs to have an understanding that the management team, when they're looking at the internal processes, they know that these standard processes are able to be implemented in the current production system, right? So you're aligning your objectives with day to day. Your objectives are to produce a zero defect part, and that SOP should be able to translate that into an SOP. Yeah, that objective should be able to be translated into an SOP for the day to day. Yeah. Okay, methods. So the SOPs will have certain methods. Say 5S: standard operation, skill, control, Kaizen, right? Visual management, measuring. Let's go through that. Yeah. Okay. The 5S: Shitsuke, meaning that respect rules, say so, keep working area clean, Seikutsu, standardize where possible, Seiton, organize, and Seiri, eliminate from the work area unneeded tools, right? So this is you can read about it more. Simple rules that they have in a Japanese company. Always respect the rules. Always keep your work area clean. Keep away things that you do not use all the time. Organize tools and documents, materials, standardize where possible. Simple, right? But it's very hard to achieve in a very, very complex environment. So they introduce these little things. Okay. Okay. Organization of materials. Can you all see? A place for everything, and everything is in its place. That's organization of materials. Where you need to get the things, you know where to go and get it from. Okay. Standard operations, a repeatable method for performing a task. What does a repeatable method for performing a task means? It means that you now have a formula to follow. You should not you most probably, if you follow the formula, you will not go wrong. It's like a recipe. Yeah. And then this is a sample. I'm going to skip this. See, standard operation sheet. You see everything is well defined, very clear, and then supervisor make sure that he acknowledges it, and then attention to detail, correct way to hold a air tool, right? Incorrect way to hold the air tool. So these are things that can be implemented in an SOP. Yeah, simple things, right? Skill control, maximize labor flexibility, allows for job rotation. One man, 3 jobs, 1 job, 3 men. How does this going to help? Simple. If I got somebody who's able to do 3 different tasks for me, it makes it easy for me to get him to rotate, to do things that needs help with. And similarly, if I have a job where 3 people are able to do it, it may also makes it easy for me to manage the productivity. Yeah. And then 5S, organization efficiency, wasted motions, safety, inventory, inexpensive costs. Yeah. So the 5S is applicable in many different areas, not necessarily in a manufacturing company. It could also be in a call center, yeah, whereby people are on the phone, what they need, everything is clear, everything is well defined. There's SOP. There are things that you can rely on to be working for you and so on. Yeah. If not fully implemented, may result in GIF-S, the drawbacks, store things, sticks rules, superficially clean, switch to new fixtures, serve reluctantly. So meaning that sometimes people may not be able to comprehend, understand the 5S, so they do things differently. Yeah, not to worry about this. Okay, again, guys, remember this: develop people, continuous improvement. This refers back to, I think, yeah, this, yeah, refers back to this. Okay, develop people. You have to. And then cellular manufacturing is this, as I mentioned earlier. Can you see? Functional layout is a cellular layout. Okay, every station is responsible for something. Okay, it's very clearly defined. Every functions, every station is designed. So these are stations, the boxes that I'm looking at. Yeah, the boxes that I'm showing you. Yeah, stations for you to go and get things done, right? So in a way, it's very clearly defined. In a functional layout, can you see how they're manufacturing a power generation system? This is Siemens, and this is a cell layout. Yeah, that's what they call it, cellular layout. Every station has got a thing that they need to complete in order to move to the next. Okay. If you see, most of our offices also will be like this. We have cubes. Yeah, instead of cubes, they've got machineries and functions that they use. Yeah, dividing the manufacture of products into semi-autonomous and multi-skilled teams known as work cells. Yeah. So separation of machine and human effort, right? So one area, the machine does the part. The other part would be performed by a team of people who are skilled to complete the product. Yeah, and then over here, electronics plant functional layout. I mean, again, you see the difference. Yeah, you see the difference. The movement back and forth movement. Over here, can you see the products, and then all of them would probably are sent to a particular location for shipping. Yeah. Okay, single machine, multi-machine, right? Multi-process handling. Yeah. In lean manufacturing, one person will often operate more than one machine. Yeah. Why? It refers back to, sorry, where did I? Okay, goes back to one task, many people, one task. Similarly, yeah. Benefits of cellular manufacturing: simplifies material workflow, interdepartmental travel, reduces throughput time, lot sizes, simplifies scheduling. So benefits of cellular manufacturing. So when you talk about cellular manufacturing, think about these guys, whereby each station has got skilled people and semi automatic processes in order to produce something. Yeah. So, and then over here you see strike zone. We spoke about this would be the motion. Remember, I was telling you in terms of how they need everything to be in a reachable distance. If this guy was a chef, he would probably need all of the stuff that he needs to have uh, 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 close by him. But imagine in a factory environment, they say definition, stand straight at working position, no bending of neck, back and knees. That means you don't bend down, you don't stretch your neck, you don't stretch back. You just have to stand and understand where the parts are going to be, right? That's called the strike zones. Okay. No walking, no traveling, no unnecessary movement, reducing psychological stress by eliminating parts choice. Yeah. So meaning that in an environment whereby everything is close by to you makes it easy for you to work. You don't have to struggle in order to get things done. Yeah, exactly. Can you see a very good example of motion? Yeah, everything that this lady needs is in front of her. All she needs to do is just pick, follow the SOP, and she can get that things done. Yeah. Kaizen means breaking apart the current situation, analyzing it quickly, and putting it back together to make it better. Change good, change for the better. Kaizen. Yeah. Okay. Again, self-explanatory. I don't have to go through this. Setup time. Yeah. Single minute of exchange of dies. Separate internal setup from external setup. Convert as many tasks possible from internal to external. Eliminate adjustment processes within setup. Abolish where is feasible. Okay, let's go through this. Okay, say, guys, in most time, the best example that someone has shared to me in regards to setup time is, again, sorry, I have to do this, cooking. Before you can actually start the process of cooking, as in cooking, you need to have everything ready first, right? You before you assuming you want to do a simple dish of fried rice, before you can even start doing it, all the setup time that's needed, you need to cook the rice. Even before cooking the rice, you have to clean the rice, wash the rice, make sure that the rice is ready. Then you cook the rice. Then what goes with the rice? Maybe you want to add chicken, right? You have to prepare the chicken. Chicken don't come in cube sizes. You have to cut a chicken, or you buy just the meat of the chicken. You have to slice it, clean it. Then you have to cut the vegetables, or you have to buy a vegetable and get it prepared, right? So everything that you must ready before you can actually start the process of cooking is this, the setup operation. Yeah. So everything you need to set it up in such a way that once the production starts, it is smooth flow. That's what they're saying about this. Yeah. So think about it in this way. Yeah. Before the lady can actually start working on assembling what she needs, you see, all this needs to be set up. This part here. Yeah. This part's here. Right. Everything needs to be set up. I need to set up this. I need to set up everything before I can actually put a person there to start working on it, right? That's what they mean by setup time. Yeah. How do you do that? You need to reduce it as much as possible. The less time, you're more efficient in setting it up, the better your production becomes, right? Okay, so that's what they do. Yeah, separating internal external setup. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly run through this. Okay, this is a way of how they manage the setup of the exchange of dies, the work that they're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this. Just wanna, okay. I think again, it's self-explanatory in that sense. Just gonna go here, undone. Okay, a board which shows any operator line have difficulties: red, white, blue, yellow. Right. Let me just go here. Okay. Again, what does this mean? When you have color coordination, it gives you very simple and very clear information or status. Red means got problem. Green means good. Yellow means unsure. So that's what they mean by this. So if you color code your production with this, it makes things easy to see. Yeah, color coding, exactly. And then can you see, this is what they mean, right? Number 3 got issue. Right, just moving on next. Okay, traditional inspection, defect assembly, can't see. Lean control got signaling code, got color already been identified what is the defect. Yeah, and then Jidoka. What's Jidoka? Make equipment operation stop whenever an abnormal or defection condition arises. Ability to identify issues before it becomes a major. Yeah, Jidoka originated from the auto loom. Okay, yeah. So the best example is, if your printer, you're printing, no paper, what does it do? It stops printing, correct? Simple thing, right? And then it continues from where it was. Yeah, that's what they're trying to say. Ability to stop doing things when something is wrong. See, over here, you don't need one person to just look at the process, manufacturing process. You know, the person can focus on something else, and then when something happens, automatically there's an alarm that calls the attention for the person to actually look at it. Yeah, so that's Jidoka. Okay, and then we come to the end of the lecture. Right now, I know we went through this very quickly. Can you guys take some time to just review through and ask questions on things that I may have missed or I may have left out unknowingly that you are not still clear with? Can you do that? Can you just take some time to go to understand, to ask any questions? Are you all good, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. Now, for those who wants to done drop off, this is the end of our lesson. I thank you all so much for your patience and also for your attention during the class. Really appreciate it. I hope you all have enjoyed the class as much as I did teaching. Yeah. And my hope is that you guys have definitely learned something new, something that will be beneficial for you in your current workplace. And hopefully this will help you to get through your assignments and whatever not. Yeah. So I thank you guys. And for those celebrating Hari Raya, Selamat Hari Raya. And I'll talk to you all soon. If there's nothing else, you can drop off. For those who want to stay on and ask me questions regards to assignment, please do so. Yeah. For those who want to drop off, please, you are more than welcome to leave the class. Thank you, class. Okay.
Hi, sir. I have a question.
Yes.
On the stage 3 of the assignment,
Okay.
I just need to know, because I know it's a bit last minute.
No
I'm in
problem.
stage 3, but I just want to know which are the areas to cover in stage 3. What are the main focus, and if I'm going to choose my project, what are the areas I need to talk about the project?
Okay. Very good. Let me just go back there. Okay. Who's that, by the way?
Brandon here.
Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Just give me a second, Brandon.
Sure, no worries, sir. Take your time.
So stage 3. So there's 3 stages, right? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So stage 3 says based on your experience for running a project with your project team, you should reflect on the experience you had of running the project with your group members.
Right.
You should have highlight what happened, why did it happen, and if there's any research that might have deepened your experience and what your experience was.
Okay.
So in that sense, Brandon,
Yes.
some of y'all I understand are not have not participated in any project and so on, right? So this could be a challenge for you to sort of explain on what were the challenges, right? That or the experience that you had. So what I would suggest is, right, if you were to look at it as a whole, any anything that any activity that has a start and an end can be classified as a project. Yeah.
Right.
So in that sense, even if you have done something outside of your scope of work, like for instance, if you have done any kind of a voluntary work, it could be at your church, or could be voluntary at your at your community. It could be something that you have done as part of your CSR, classroom CSR, and so on. So
Okay.
even that can be considered as a project. Like for instance, if you help to organize the Sunday school camp for your church? What did you guys do? Or we had a committee. We needed to ensure that we had content for that class. We needed to ensure that everybody had a role to play. Some of the challenges were that most people were occupied by some things. They could not come for regular meeting. One of the things we needed was funds. So we needed to write a letter to all our members asking for whether any contribution they can make, things like that. You can tell a story based on that,
Okay.
right? So it not necessarily has to be a work related kind of a project that is simple, but yet it needed some form of project management activities to run it. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
I really appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, class? Anything else that I can help you with? Yeah. Let me go back to. Hui, can you share me what actually you mean? If it's only 70%. Is it? Can you just share your screen to me on what you want me to check? Okay. Okay. Thanks. Guys, anything else? Any other questions? Anything else that we need to sync up today?
Sir, sorry, I have already submitted the draft assignment where Mr. Ruba asked us to do it. We would appreciate if you could just check it and see if I need any improvements. I'll work on it then.
Okay, got it.
Sure.
I'll have a chat with Ruba after this on the timelines, and I'll get back to the entire class on what they need to do. Okay, I'll reach out to you guys personally. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Sure,
So
sir.
the,
Thank you so much.
so the assignment due date is on the 25th, right?
Ruba.
Yes, ne? Yes.
Okay. 25th,
Yes.
right?
Just follow the due date. Just follow the
Okay.
due date that I sent in the group.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anything else, guys? Okay, if not, thank you, Ruba. I'll call you shortly. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye bye.